different video. I'm going to start some learning videos or teaching videos, which is probably the point. Instead of doing guitar demos, I thought I'd branch out a bit. So what I'm going to teach you today is a song you've just heard, Alright Now by Free. Thought I'd start pretty basic and then I'm going to do other songs that are a bit more complex in the future. So hopefully this will go okay. Let me know what you think below in the comments section. And let's get going. Okay, so, Alright Now. First things first I want to talk about is tone and what we're going to be doing pickup wise and sound wise, because it's kind of important you don't have an overly distorted tone for Alright Now, especially if you're going the Paul Kossoff route, because it's not massive distortion, it's not like mass distortion. So first thing you can't be doing is rolling back gain on your amp, or rolling the volume back on your guitar, because Paul Kossoff's running using Les Paul. His favourite setup was Les Paul, Marshall, Plexi and a B cab. He didn't like using A cabs, they didn't give him enough bottom end, so he said. So he used B cabs. And so what you want to be kind of going for is that kind of nice, warm, kind of British style crunch that is touch sensitive. That's what you kind of want to be heading for. So it's kind of like, what I mean by touch sensitive is the lighter you touch your guitar, the cleaner your guitar will be. Like it will be like this. And the harder you hit it, the more distorted it will be, like this. That's what I mean by touch sensitive. You want it so it kind of cleans up the lighter you hit the guitar, the heavier you hit the guitar. If you dig in and batter it, the more it'll distort. Because that's what, again, that's kind of another thing about Paul Kossoff, is these dynamics of the song as well. So the whole song is done on the bridge humbucker. So if you've got anything with a bridge humbucker, you're sorted. It doesn't have to be a Les Paul. I'm using Les Paul because it's historically accurate. I'm using the Orange CR120 to get the crunch tone today. I'm using the dirty channel. Volume is on 10, treble is off, mid is just above 2, bass is on 1, and gain is on 4. So you don't have a great deal of distortion. Because if you put loads of distortion in, because he uses such chords like this in Alright Now, you've got 2 open strings there. Your G string and your A string are open, but I'll get into talking about the chords in a minute. And you need to hear all those notes when you hit the chord, so they need to ring out. So the more gain you've got, the less they will ring out. The less gain you got, the more you'll be able to hear the little, every string basically. So that's what you'll be kind of going for gain wise. So just to recap, bridge humbucker, very light distortion, nice round, fat distortion sound, overdrive really. That's what you kind of want to be heading for really. That's kind of tonal qualities. Okay, right, so let's get to the teaching. Right, okay, so verse of Alright Now. This is a stretch chord to start with. What you want to be kind of going for is an A major shape to start with, which again is open A string. You fret the D string on your 2nd fret. It's important you do this with just your 1st finger, as you'll see in a minute. So open A, fret the D string on the 2nd fret, fret the G string on your 2nd fret, same finger, B string on 2nd fret, same finger. So it's that. So that's what you'll be going for. And then what you do, with your little finger, you reach up to the 5th fret on the low E, and you get another A note. So that's your first chord, and again, it is a stretch, and if you don't want to, again, everything I'm going to show you can do without your little finger. I'm adding the little finger because that's the way Paul Kossoff does it, so I'm being historically accurate, but you don't have to do it. Also the rhythms I'll talk about in a minute can change as well, and they can vary. So anyway, so that's your first chord. Okay, second chord, again, keeping that kind of shape, you want to add in your middle and your ring finger. So your ring finger goes on the 4th fret on the D string, and your middle finger goes on the 3rd fret on the B string. So now you should have this chord. So put them together, you got this. so they're your first two chords, so hopefully you'll be able to do that. And the easier way to do that, as I say, is to get rid of your little finger, do the A shape, and then add in your middle and your ring finger just to the same frets. Like that. So that's an easier way of doing it if you can't quite get to the stretch, which is totally fine. You don't have to put that note in. Again, I'm doing it just because Paul Kossoff did it. Okay. So, next chord is a really nice chord. This is an open chord. So technically, you take that shape you had there, the second chord along. So that's your first, that's your second chord. And with that second chord, what you do is you take away your first finger. So now, you're fretting the low E at the 5th fret with your little finger. A string is open. Then you fret the 4th fret with your ring finger. Open G string. Again, which is very weird and dissonant, but you'll hear it in a second. And then you fret your 3rd fret on the B string. So you're after that chord. So that's your 3rd chord. And then your 4th chord is you just add this first finger back on. So you're doing your 2nd chord again. So it's only really 3 chords. So you got your 1st chord, 2nd chord, 3rd chord, back to the 2nd chord, and then back to the 1st chord. So the whole sequence is, again, just to show you, 1st chord, 2nd chord, back to the 1st chord, and then you go to the 3rd chord, 2nd chord, and 1st chord. And all in all, sounds like this. Okay, so that's that in a nutshell, really. The easier way to do it is this way. Which is an easy way, and you're just basically just cancelling out your low E with your thumb, which, you know, again should come fairly naturally to you. Okay, so that's the verse, and I'm just going to quickly talk about rhythm because that can vary, and you can change that. Paul Kossoff changed it, and if he's allowed to change it, so are we. So you can do this. Or do this. So, and there's 2 different variables there. And he also every now and again would hit a D chord, which is that shape. He would every now and again do it. He wouldn't do it a great deal, but every now and again. So do this. So, you know, that's an idea. I mean, he doesn't do that D a lot, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much, but if you want to put it in, it's there. So, that's your verse. So, hopefully you've got that. Let's move on to the chorus. Okay, so chorus. This is an A5 chord to start with, so you want to take your first finger, put it on the 12th fret on your A string, which is the 2nd string down, looking down on the guitar, which hopefully you'll be able to see there. Oh, excuse me. And what we're doing really with this first finger is you want to be kind of barring the A and D string, so you get those 2 notes. And I'll explain why in a minute. But so you want to be that must be your first finger, and then your ring finger wants to be on the 14th fret on your D string. So you're after those 2. Together. Okay, right, this is the reason I'm explaining about the bar, because what Mr. Kossoff does, he does like a little twiddle that leads him into the 2nd chord, which is this. And what you're doing there is on the 14th fret, you're pulling off, which means you play the note and pull your finger off. So it sounds, so basically it plays that note on the 12th fret on the D string. So that's what we will be going for. and then you just go up to your 14th fret on your A string. So it's okay, so that's your first chord, and the whole thing goes. One more time. Okay, right, moving on to the second chord, which is, going into your head, is a G5. This is your same shape as the A, but you're moving it basically down 2 frets to your 10th fret with your first finger on the A string, and your ring finger goes on your 12th fret on the D string. So the whole thing so far goes like this. Okay, and then the fourth chord is you basically move your first finger here up to the 9th fret, leave your ring finger where it is, and move your first finger up to the 9th. So you get that kind of sound. And then you go back to your first chord, which is on your 12th fret. So the whole thing together goes like this. And again. And then to end the chorus, what he does right at the end, he hits the big A chord back up here. So to do that, it's which is just that, and you hit that as hard as you can. So that's the chorus. So hope you've got that, and I'll do it one more time just to show you. Okay, there you go. Now the fun part, get to the solo. Okay, so solo break 1. This happens just before the bass break. What you want to be kind of heading for here is, you know, it's just pure like blues soloing basically. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a scale which I'm going to call the Kossoff scale of the notes he uses. And this kind of like scale will incorporate 2 bends, and I'll show you what I mean by that. This is the scale you want to be kind of using. All these notes he uses in this solo, and then, well, I'll explain something in a sec. But anyway, first one, 12th fret, G string, 14th fret, G string, 13th fret, B string, 15th fret, B string, bend up the 15th fret to the 17th fret note, which is that, and then you go to 13th fret on a high E, 15th fret high E, and then you bend up that one to the 17th fret note as well. So the whole thing you want to be going for is this. One more time. And when you get that kind of shape and those notes in your head, depending on how you see it, then the solo actually clicks into place fairly easy. And using those notes, you can actually create your own break. You don't have to do what Mr. Kossoff does, because he would change it anyway, which gives you the right to change it anyway. And music is all about expression, so you express your way you want to do it. So, but what he does is this. So that's the first part, so really slow. Again, those notes, remember those notes. One more time. So again, using those notes that I've showed you in the Paul Kossoff scale, you can kind of find what I'm doing there. It's very straightforward, and it's brilliant. It just sounds so good. But you can alter these things. You don't have to do them again the same way he does. Why don't you go? You can change it and do whatever you want. Really, it's kind of important to find your own way in soloing, and in some songs I will be teaching. I will be showing you how to find your own way of doing your own solo in that song, because I find it's certain solos you have to learn, some you can just make your own, and that is important to me. To me as a musician, I reckon that's a really important thing, is to find your own voice in, especially guitar solos if you're a guitarist and you love to play solos. So anyway, so he does that first time. And he does that first one twice. He does it again to start on, and then he ends it with bends up the 15th fret, and then he pulls off to the 13th fret on the B string, bends up the 15th fret, again I'll do it really slow. Once more for luck. Which again was probably different, but again it doesn't matter. It's allowed to be different. It's music. It's expression. You can do what you want with it. You don't have to do everything the same all the time. It's brilliant to change things up and change things around. Anyway, that's the first part. So the whole thing. So that's the first one. So, hope you get the idea of that one, and let's move on to the main solo. Okay, main solo of All Right Now. Paul Kossoff does a really cool thing in this solo. It's really cool. He switches key. The first part of the solo comes out F sharp minor, and the second part of the solo, where he goes to the high bit, the bit where he does that cool bit, which I just fluffed, but anyway, it doesn't matter. He goes to A minor, and I'll show you what I mean. F sharp minor scale is this. And again. And I've got to say that's the F minor pentatonic scale. And he also used the A major scale. And I'm not going to completely go mental on musical theory, because I think that detracts from the fun of learning. So, and the A major scale does this. So, and that's A major pentatonic scale. So, all the notes there he uses. So, first part of the solo is in the F sharp minor. So what he does is he slides from 2nd fret to the 4th fret on the G string, and then slides back down to the 2nd fret, and then open string, and then back to the 2nd fret. Then he does it again. Second time, however, he alters it slightly and bends up the 4th fret that much, and then go back to the 2nd fret. So that's all on a G string. So all together it goes. One more time. And hopefully you'll be able to see that, because I'm using one finger, it won't mask it so much, hopefully. And then the second part he goes to the B and the E strings, and he drones the high E string, and by drone I mean he keeps playing it over the top. Like that. So the high E string is kind of almost always ringing, and the second part sounds like this. One more time. And one more time, just look at my hand, and I'm picking, again, remember, I'm just picking the B and the E strings, so you get kind of the idea of what I'm doing. And then the third part, he goes back to the second and the fourth fret on the G string, and then goes, and then he reaches down with either your little finger or your ring finger. It doesn't matter. You can even do it with your first finger and do it with your ring finger. Again, all subjective. Do what's comfortable for you. Don't necessarily do how I'm doing it, or Kossoff does it, or how your friend down the road does it. Do what's comfortable for you. So you go from the second fret to the fourth. Then you play your high E string on the fifth fret, and then you bend up the fourth fret, half note, and then back to the second, and then do that again. So the whole thing so far is this. Okay, next part I want to teach is this bit. And you might be going, hang on a sec, where's the rest of the solo? Right, the reason for that, the reason I'm not going to teach you the other part of the solo is, if you listen to Free live, that part he will change pretty much all the time. He very rarely kind of stuck to it, because he just didn't feel like it. And again, it's expression. And what I want you to do is I want you to find your own solo. Up to doing this bit on the recording, he's in F sharp minor and the A major scale I showed you in the previous bit. So what I want you to do is I want you to find your own solo. And, you know, more experienced players will find it easy, less experienced players will probably fail. And now that's important. You need to fail to get better. I don't know how contradictory as it sounds, but you really need to fail to get better. So, up to that point, until you get to that point in the solo, find your own little solo using those scales, you know, that I showed you. Because it's a way of, you grow. You're growing as a musician, and that's kind of important. So, back to this lick. What you're doing is you're fretting the 17th fret on your B string and the 20th fret on your B string, and you hammer on from the 17th to the 20th, and then you play the 17th fret on your high E string with your first finger. So it's this. Really slow. It's. Then just, you know, gradually do that, and then gradually get to speed. And then you bend up your 20th fret. And that's that lick. And then there's another one which is quite cool, which he does live. I forget offhand. I normally listen to live versions. I forget offhand about the album version, but he does a double stop riff, which is really cool. And what a double stop is two notes together. For people who don't know what double stop is, it's two notes together. So in this case, it's the G and the B string on the 17th fret together. It gives you that sound. So it's those two notes. And what he does, he kind of flicks between that and the 19th fret on the D string. So it gives him that sound. Let me turn my volume down a bit. So it's quite a nice little thing he does. And to end it, where he goes, he does the same double stop, but now on the 19th fret. So you have to those two notes. So it's. And what you do with them is get your fingers and really yank those strings down. And then go back to the 17th fret. And do what you want with it from there. Because it's important, as I say, it is important to find your own voice in soloing and your own style of playing. You know, copying people is brilliant, but it does come a point where you have to kind of start to find your own way. So so you can make up your own. So from the F sharp bit, if you can make up your own solo to that bit, that's kind of like your homework and challenge. Let me know how. If you do try it, please let me know how you get on. I'd love to know. It'd be brilliant. So once he gets to this bit. Uses the A minor pentatonic scale, which is this. So you start on the 17th fret. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So any of those notes will work in the solo. So after you've done that, you can do this. You can do what you want. That's, again, I'm adding bends that go into a major pentatonic, C major pentatonic scale, but that is not important. You just bend them up a tone from the A minor position and you'll be fine. So, yeah, so that's what he's doing. And again, that is kind of like your homework, and anyone's homework really on guitar, is finding your own way of soloing. It's kind of really important. So the more you can do that, the better kind of like you'll become. And the more it unlocks the guitar, because you kind of like create your own licks instead of like regurgitating old ones that people have come up with and been playing for years. You find your own way, you know, and that's kind of important. So, and I say you will find this in subsequent videos where I will talk about guitar solos and doing your own solo. And it will be, sometimes it'll be terrible, sometimes it'll be brilliant. It's just the way it goes. But it is important, I feel, to do that. So, anyway, hopefully that's shown light on the key features, key points of this song. It's a brilliant song. It's a great beginner, intermediate, professional, whatever level. It's just a great song. You can do it easy. You can make it hard for yourself. You can do it the way he does it. You know, the challenge to create your own solo out of what, you know, out of the notes you have to use is a challenge. It's all good. So yeah. So. Let me know what you think of this video, and I'll see you again. Either in next video will either be a guitar review or there'll be another lesson, depending on what comes first. And thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think below, and I'll see you again. Goodbye.